Hey gang, Excel time, and ever get a really horribly formatted Excel sheet or maybe a sheet that you've brought into Excel and it just looks ugly? I mean, really ugly. This will get messy for a second, so let's go here. Like that, where people obviously didn't format the names properly. There's all sorts of problems, but what I want to deal with right here is the first and last name being in the same column, which makes it nearly impossible, not entirely impossible, to sort and do other things. So we're going to talk about a really old tool in Excel, and there's different ways to do it now, but the original way to be able to separate information from a column is a functionality that's called text to columns. And in this case, what we want to do is jump the last name into its own column so we can then manage it. Pretty straightforward. This takes no coding, no functions even to do this, just knowing where it is and how to set it up. And the setup is really important, because if we were to move the text, the last name, into column B, we're going to overwrite what's in there already. So the first step in any time you want to use this tool, again called text to columns, is we want to create some space so that anything that might jump over doesn't overwrite what we have in there right now. And in this particular case, we're going to start with B, and I'm going to put in 3 blank columns. Why? Because I can. It's not going to hurt, and there's blank columns left. We can get rid of them. So all we're going to do is right click on insert, and we'll see moving over to column E, there's the banquet information. So now we're set. We're set to use this tool, and we start the process by selecting the column we want to identify and we want to actually do an action on, column A. And now we're going to go to the data menu, which, as I've told you before, has a lot of the cool stuff in there. And we're going to go over to the data tools section, and you're going to see text to columns. This has been in Excel for, gosh, 25 years, maybe more. I know I've been teaching it for over 20. And essentially, it's going to do what the name indicates. It's going to take text and move it based on the parameters that we define. So let's click on it. It'll bring up the dialog box and actually the wizard. And the first thing it's going to ask us about is delimited or fixed width. Fixed width is really an archaic old tool in databases. You had to actually identify the number of spaces for every column, for every field before you even started. Ignore it. A delimiter. A delimiter is a separator. It's what separates one piece of information from another. Comma separated values, a CSV file, is nothing more than a database file that's been broken down with commas separating each piece of information. The first name from the last name, from the title, from the address, from the city. So this is a delimited list. Not a comma delimited list, but there is a constant separator, and that's the space bar. And you see in between the first and last names in column A, there's going to be a space. Now, if you look at cell A6, you're going to see where we might have a little bit of an issue, but trust me, we can happily and gladly deal with that once we get the majority moved over. So, delimited list. If I wasn't yammering away, we'd be able to do that quickly. We'd hit next, and now it's going to ask us to identify which delimiter. Now, tab is the default. If you asked Bill Gates, he wouldn't know why tab is the default. Maybe he'd have some 1992 reason for it. But what we want to do here is select the checkbox next to space. And watch what happens in the data preview when we click on the checkbox in space. It's now going to use that delimiter, that space, to separate everything. And quite frankly, at this point, we're done. There's other things that we can look at, but the reality is if we click finish, it's going to give us an error message, or at least what looks like one. It's going to say there's already data here. Well, there really isn't, because column B is empty, but because we have that gray background heading, it's assuming we have information in there. But we inserted and moved them away earlier, so we want to replace it, indeed, and there we go. Wow. Imagine that for a list of 400 or 500 names, and you might have a few like Barbara Van Hassel, which means I'm going to have to just do a quick manual enter. And now I have the names in here. And in fact, what I'm going to do at this point is click over in that little box to the left of A, above column 1, select everything, and then move my cursor in between columns A and B. And we're going to see a little crosshair. And by double clicking the crosshair, we're going to bring everything that has data in there into a size that will capture the largest piece of information, but give us more screen room to work. Pretty darn cool. So while we're here, let's just deal with one other thing, because we've already gotten the big thing fixed. So this is the bonus, the lanyap of the day, and that is dealing with case, because obviously this person put it in everything with uppercase. So in Word, it's a menu selection. In Excel, it's a function. In cell C2, if I type in equal proper, as in the proper case, and then put the cell reference A2, I can get that. And oh yeah, by the way, you click on it, you click on that fill handle on the bottom right side, double click on it, and everything gets filled in. But wait, that's not what we want to do. We'll undo that for a second. Maybe what we want to do is put the first and last name together. That's a reasonable thing we might want. We could do proper A2, and we could actually use the ampersand, not the plus sign, but the ampersand to add to it proper B2. Now this is going to be wrong, and you'll see why in a second. It's going to be wrong because we didn't put a space in there. So we just put the first and last name together. One more fix, we'll go up to C2, we'll highlight this, we'll put it so that it's nice and big on the screen, and after that first and, what we're going to do is we're going to put in quotation marks with a space in there, because anything we put inside of those quotation marks is actually going to be put as a string right in between first and last, A2 and B2. Now we need to do one more thing. We need to put another ampersand to tie together, which Excel actually calls concatenate. Why they didn't say join, I don't know, but they use concatenate. And then now there's a function called that just to confuse you all. But this works perfectly. Equal proper A2, ampersand, the space, ampersand, B2, hit enter, admire, go to your fill handle, double click on it. Now, while we're doing this whole thing, one more thing. While we're playing this game of getting this right, the problem with what's in C2 right now is it's tied to what's in A2 or B2. So if I was to do something silly like delete my first name, it would also delete that in the formula. So what we're going to finish up on right now is what I like to call copy and almost paste. Some people actually call it by its real name, which is Paste Special, and it is a really useful tool across all of Microsoft. But what we're going to do is we're going to highlight all of those records right now that has the formula in there, the proper formula. We're going to copy it. I'll use Control-C and get those little dotted lines that Microsoft used to call those marching ants. I don't know why. Don't forget that. And now, well, if we pasted right now, we would be doing nothing, because we'd be pasting what's in there. But if we go up to our home menu, and again, there's many ways to get here, but I'm going to go the menu route. We're going to go to the paste icon, but click on the drop down arrow, and we're going to choose paste options. Beneath that is paste special. With paste special, what we want to do is paste the values. You could have gotten there with 2 less clicks. If you know it, that's great, but if you don't, this is tried and true. And when you select values and click OK, and now we've done what looks like it's the same thing, but when I get rid of what's in A2 or A3 or A4, you get the idea. We've now made that particular column that had the function turned into the value, or what I like to call bulletproof. Let's now mess up the screen for a second so we can come back here, and we can end this whole conversation by going, this is a really, really useful tool, regardless of how you choose to use Excel. Because if you get any sort of a data set that is not formatted properly, you could use that proper tool, especially with case, and you can concatenate to be able to move things around. By the way, what we didn't show, because we did show the function equal proper, is there's also a function called equal upper, and there's one called equal lower. So 3 functions for the price of 1. And that's your Microsoft Office, and in particular, Microsoft Excel trick, for Microsoft Monday. Take care, gang. See you soon.